Good morning. Big Joe here, along with Jeff Rickard from the Morning Show. And we just wanted to make sure that you know to rise and shine with our new FM frequencies, only on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We're already moved in. Come on over and have a listen.
Fan joining us this morning on the Payless Liquors hotline. You feeling better today, buddy? I missed you at the golf outing yesterday.
I know. Sorry about that, Joe. Jeff, I am feeling better. But then dealing with all the saga that I had to deal with yesterday, I don't know if I am really feeling better now that I think about it.
So what have we learned? What do we know and what's still kind of out there? What's known, what's nebulous?
Well, we woke up yesterday morning thinking it was a bone issue, per Jim Irsay's interview with you and Bill Polian. And we went to bed last night now believing that it is an ankle issue, kind of a high ankle posterior area, if you want to get technical. But the key word there is believe. The Colts are hopeful they now finally have this diagnosed properly. And that, to me, is the biggest worry. Like, we can sit here and debate, have the Colts lied? Is this 2017 all over again? Are they deceiving their fan base? Honestly, they just haven't been able to diagnose this thing since March. And that, to me, might be scarier than anything else because as they sit here now, 3.5 weeks away from the regular season, they're treating a totally different injury. And that is very worrisome in my eyes, and it's a reflection on a lot of different parties in that organization.
All right, let me throw this out there, and it's going to make me a horrible person because people are going to jump to conclusions, but how culpable is Andrew Luck in all this?
I think he is a bit culpable, Joe. I think that's very fair. Just could you have tried to attack this a little bit more aggressively earlier in the spring, nip this in the bud, for a lack of a better phrase. I think that's fair. And selfishly, and I think this is where we get to more of the PR 101 and things like that, I just wish Andrew Luck would allow the Colts to be more transparent with these injury updates. Without Jim Irsay and Jeff and Bill Polian having that interview, we don't get this conference call with Chris Ballard. We're still under the assumption that it's a calf strain, and then Luck one time mentioned lower leg, and one time he mentioned ankle, and all these things. So I just wish, and again, this is a lot on Andrew Luck's shoulders, that he would be more transparent and realize, okay, I'm the $140 million quarterback. There's no competitive advantage per se to be, detailing too many things. We're not asking us to, hand over all these HIPAA forms, but just be a little bit more upfront with updates on this injury, because he hasn't spoken now in over 2 weeks.
All right, my thing with this, and I don't know how this whole thing works out, but if you say it's a calf, okay, and then you treat the calf, and okay, now the pain has moved a little bit, and now and so we've gone from the front to the back. It's up in the calf. It's down. Now it's a high ankle. We're all over the place with this pain. When you get in there with the doctor, you say, here's where it hurts. How much of this can be from the treatment and that pain moves around to where Andrew is telling you exactly? I mean, not that he's lying or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're trying to figure something out, but when that pain keeps moving, it can be something different.
Yeah, and again, I think this injury has evolved, and that goes back to what I was just saying a few minutes ago. That is what is so worrisome to me.
Yeah, me too.
Is that as you have diagnosed this thing, again, you've more or less swung and missed with some of these diagnoses of where this injury potentially was at the beginning and now where it is 3.5 weeks before the start of the regular season. So, what is going to be cured in a few days that wasn't cured in 5 months? That's where we're at. And I think the end of it, and the final question that I asked Chris Ballard last night was, would you feel comfortable, if Andrew Luck is comfortable playing at 85 or 90%, would you feel comfortable putting him out there? And Ballard said yes, as long as he'd be able to do kind of your satisfactory things and be able to protect himself as a quarterback, because that's where I'm at right now. I think there has got to be some level of pain threshold that Andrew Luck is going to have to play through here, at least to start the 2019 season and quite possibly throughout the entire season.
One thing we do know is Andrew will play with pain. That much we have learned, Kevin.
Without a doubt. And again, questioning Andrew Luck's toughness, I think it's foolish. But it comes back to effectiveness. And I think this is something that we've touched on several times. Andrew Luck has got to be Andrew Luck. And by that, I don't mean a statue-like quarterback a la Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. When Andrew Luck is at his best, it's moving in the pocket side to side, it's keeping plays alive, it's scrambling, it's doing things off script. And Chris Ballard said last night, the pain threshold is so immense right now for Luck, the side-to-side movement is where he's really being hindered. And that, to me, is a red flag because I don't think he can be a top-5 quarterback in this league if his mobility is limited.
And he said the same thing. All right, I'm going to ask you a question that I asked Rick Venturi in the pregame show last week, and that is Jacoby Brissett a better quarterback in 2019 than he was in 2017? With what you've been able to see in practice and what you gleaned with what little he played, last Thursday, what do you think? Is he ready to make the next step?
It's a great question, Joe. I think he is better than 2017, but I don't know how much better. I don't know if it's like a significant amount to where instead of, maybe if, let's say Jacoby Brissett starts all 16 games, you won 4 with him starting 15 games in 2017. This schedule's probably a little tougher. I would throw it in the 7 to 8 range that you could win. And Chris Ballard, that's another thing I think is a bit worrisome, judging by the conference call last night. Every time Ballard is asked about confidence and Luck being ready for week 1, the answer quickly turned to, I have confidence in this team and Jacoby Brissett. That, what Chris Ballard wanted to build in 2017 was not just an Andrew Luck-centered team. He wanted to build a little bit more of a defensive blueprint that can win, enough offensive skill that can help out whoever is under center. But I think calling Jacoby Brissett a top 20 quarterback is just it's just foolish, honestly. I don't know how you can watch him and say that. I'd probably put him in the 30-ish range from an NFL quarterback.
All right, last thing before we let you go, because there is a joint practice today with the Cleveland Browns. Who would have thought that Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield would be an afterthought on today's discussion about the Colts today? But they are up there in camp. What are the Colts trying to glean? What did they need to find out today in this joint practice before we let you go?
God, a non-Andrew Luck question. Whew. They are trying to glean that they're seeing people in a different color jersey and they don't know their tendencies. They don't know their strengths, weaknesses, and that's how you evaluate guys on Sunday afternoons. I can't tell you how many times Anthony Walker in practice will call out the offensive play before it even happens. And now you go against a different color jersey, an unpredictable, again, skill set, scheme, all those things. And I just think it gives you a truer evaluation. So there are tons of matchups to watch. Anthony Costanzo against Myles Garrett, David Njoku against Malik Hooker, or Darius Leonard, obviously Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry against all those Colts cornerbacks, T.Y. Hilton against Denzel Ward. I mean, just some unbelievable one-on-one matchups, and I think that's extremely valuable to, again, getting a truer evaluation of your 90-man roster.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. We'll check in with you tomorrow and see how the joint practices go.
All right, guys.
All right, feel better. We'll talk to you soon.